Welcome back, everybody. I'm CanadianMoosePlays. This is City Skylines 2, and in today's episode, I will be getting you all up to speed on where the Vancouver series has gone, what this new project is, showing off the map, and beginning the framework for the downtown. So grab some Timmies, and let's begin. So while I discuss some stuff and get you all up to speed on things, you'll be seeing time-lapse footage in the back of me prepping the starting layout for our downtown. And this will be a heavily detailed build, and since PDX Mods doesn't have a share playset function, you can find a link to all the mods I will be using in the City Skylines 2 channel on the Discord linked in the description below. After dropping the mods video, I was struggling with inspo for Cities 1 and 2, as Cities 1 was having issues, and I felt like Cities 2 still had a long way to go. So I took some time and even rebranded over on Twitch and Discord. That was about a month ago now, and I have to say, CS2 has come such a long way. And honestly, I kind of like my old name, CanadianMoosePlays, so I am back, and gotta say, I am loving Cities 2 in its current state, thanks to all the amazing modders. So it felt like the right time to come back. Now, many of you might have seen through City Planner Plays channel that my PC, a pre-built Alienware, yes, I know, what a silly move I made, and I paid for it in the price of insane overheating, causing early failures of many core parts. While most of my stuff was backed up, my CS2 stuff unfortunately wasn't, aside from 2 of the Twitch builds, so this does mean that the Vancouver save was lost. All of this added fuel to my lack of inspiration, as I just couldn't get anything going. Fast forward to August 2nd, and thanks to some amazing people in my community alongside City Planner Plays and his insanely kind community, we hit the 2K goal, and I officially have a brand new custom built PC, meaning all the parts can be swapped in the future, and it was custom designed for cooling and specifically for City Skylines 2. Let's fast forward again, and all of a sudden, this drops. What an absolute banger of a map. Now, Rafterman sent me a special version of this map, so why don't we dive into a quick live play to showcase the map and talk about the inspiration for this series. So here we are in beautiful Bayport, Michigan. And if you've loaded up this map before, you might notice that this version looks a little bit different. Rafterman sent me a special version in which he added a height map, I believe, of the Rocky Mountains, or one range of the Rockies, as a little backdrop there just to test it out, and it looked so good that I decided to go with that one. I think it looks super, super cool. Now, the inspiration for this series is actually going to draw from Thunder Bay, Ontario, and while Thunder Bay is a lot more flat and doesn't really have like mountains like this, I'm sure there's areas, and I know that there are areas of Ontario that are a little bit more hilly. This definitely screams, like looking at it from this side, much more of Colorado-esque, although we have this huge bay, which is like, this is the Great Lakes, you know? Like, you look at it, this area, it screams Great Lakes. It even gave me, minus the mountains, but I also got Toronto vibes, especially by this area and here. And the initial plans for this project were actually to do a bit of a mega city, and then I decided, you know what, let's scale this back. The map is absolutely stunning, and let's go for something a bit more rural that you'll see coming up. But yeah, that's the inspiration for this series. We'll be drawing a little bit of Thunder Bay, Ontario, but I think I also kind of want to look at cities around Colorado with the range. And of course, I do think that we should look at cities around Michigan. So while the main inspiration came from Thunder Bay, and we will implement some ideas from there, this is not going to be a one-to-one build at all, and it's not even going to necessarily fully embody Thunder Bay, because the thing is, we just don't have the assets to really capture a certain area, and a lot of the assets just look like New York City style. But I want to do a city that just exists on a Great Lake. We'll place it in Ontario because, you know, Canadian Moose, so we'll do a Canadian series. So we'll say that it exists in Ontario, but I want to draw from a multitude of cities that exist on the Great Lakes. But yeah, this is the map that we'll be building on Bayport, Michigan. And I mean, it is absolutely stunning. So as you'll see in the episode, I've decided to go with this area starting. And I've also decided that we will be playing with the tile unlocks enabled because of this. Look at the starting tile that you have. Almost kind of embodies Texas geography there. Texas on a map. But if I go into the tiles option here, take a look at how the tiles are laid out. How cool is this? So as we progress, we can actually expand the city. And I think what I want to do is kind of polls on this stuff. But we are going to purchase up farmland depending on how big we make the city and what we branch into. We're going to be purchasing up farmland and, yeah, kind of converting that into suburban development and suburban sprawl. And it'll be up to you if the farmer stays, you know, because we'll have these little plots where, oh, they stayed, no, they didn't. Does the farmer stay or not? I think I want to do that through polls with you guys and decide as we start to claim up territory for the ever-growing city. But yeah, this map is so cool. The tiles are so cool. I really wanted that to play a role in this series. So you'll see that making its way. And I kind of think over here at some point, especially if we incorporate these bodies of water, I want to incorporate and build a golf course out here. I think this is the perfect spot for them. I see them all over Ontario, small cities, big cities, they are everywhere. And it kind of just like looks like the perfect spot for it. So we'll definitely have a look there at a potential golf course. And then, yeah, it just, look at this. Like, it's so well done, especially there's a little, yeah, look at this. The river that snakes through here. Oh, it's so good. It is so good. The detail on this map is insane. If you had the chance, try it out. This map is super good. Yeah, I'd love to see what people come up with on Raptorman's map. It is so sick. But yeah, that is the Bayport, Michigan map. A little bit on the inspiration. So let's hop into the time lapse and see what I can come up with in episode 1. So welcome to the time-lapse portion of the episode, and here we are, a brand new series, and I hope y'all are excited for something a little bit more rural and smaller, you know, much more small than a big mega city like Vancouver, which we will get back to at some point. It's just been tough accepting all the lost progress and kind of moving on from that. I also kind of just want to wait for assets too until, you know, Smileys can get, and Reaper can come back and start dropping stuff for it. So in this series here, I don't want to build out beyond the tiles. So except for stuff like power and water and sewage, which you'll see here shortly, we're going to connect those out. Now I can upgrade roads outside of the tiles with Anarchy, like what I'm doing here for the pipes and for electricity. But again, I want to stick within the tiles that we're building, detail those up, then move on to other tiles where I can ask you, the viewers, whose farmland are we purchasing? And did the farmer win, or did we successfully get the farmland from them to build more suburban developments? Or a mall, or something. It'll be something. So I'm coming in with the surfaces. I believe these are from Broman, and these surfaces are absolutely awesome for detailing. Now, I know a lot of us didn't like, myself included, although they have grown on me, the roadware surfaces, like the vanilla roadware surfaces. But honestly, with these stained surfaces from Broman, when you slap those onto the road there, it really complements them. Honestly, makes me kind of like them better when they look like really scuffed and dirty and stained. Like, look at that. That looks sick. I think that looks really good. And it adds to kind of the look of this being like, I would say like a Rust Belt-esque city. Obviously, we're basing this on Ontario and drawing a lot of inspiration from Thunder Bay, but it's not going to be, like I've said, it's not going to be anything that's one-to-one or anything like that. It's just going to be, here's a cool city. I looked at Thunder Bay on Google Maps. That's cool. Maybe I'll implement some road stuff or some rail stuff from there. But here's a cool fictional, wow, I'm doing great with the English today, fictional city that exists somewhere. You know, it's out there. It's in Ontario somewhere, you know, on a Great Lake. So trying to figure out the buildings that I want to put here. And I was initially going to put the residential down, and that's a beautiful asset. But I'm going to continue the search looking for my favorite mixed-use building that's going to fit into that corner. Easily one of the best mixed-use buildings. That building right there, by the way, we don't end up placing it, but that is my favorite building in the game currently. I don't know what the name of it is, but it exists out there, and it's absolutely beautiful. So I decided to switch up, and we'll go for mixed use, but these all felt too big, and then it dawned on me, where's my favorite mixed-use asset? And we're going to find it, and we're going to place that, and it looks so good. Here it is, this one. Absolutely my favorite mixed-use building, and it looks so good beside the water tower. Like, look at that. Oh, yeah. It's starting to shape up. It's starting to get there. That looks so, so good. And then I thought maybe we could get some foliage in and do a park around here. But the thing is, I kind of just felt like if we do have a park, it should be a couple blocks out and maybe not right beside the rail. And I want to focus on just getting in lots of brick and then lots of surface parking lots first to really sell the idea of a city that's, you know, it's not the perfect city. It's a city that's, you know, Rust Belt-esque in its nature, right? That has gone through some tough times and is, you know, has a downtown that kind of reflects that with lots of surface parking. This building on the corner here, though, look at that. Ah, beautiful. And that already has started to shape and mold the skyline. Huge shout out to Raptorman for sending me this version of the map that has the mountains, because I think it looks so good. And you've seen it in cinematics at the start. You'll see it in cinematics at the end. But how good the mountains look behind to kind of shape up that gives us a backdrop. It's a really beautiful backdrop. Now, I made a fatal mistake here that you can see me paying for now, which is, I guess not fatal. We'll recover from it. But I didn't think about the fact that I kind of want this main road that's going through, because you've just seen me zoom out there really quick, is to see if this road was an arterial. It is. Let's up the lanes, and we're going to have to adjust for that. We're going to have to fix all the detailing that we did, adjust the buildings accordingly. Man, I'm really excited for this starting layout as well, to be able to have the rail interacting with the road at multiple points there. Man, I love it. I love doing like these like smaller cities that have rail directly through either their main street or near their downtown. I'm a big uneducated train nerd. So like, love trains, nerd out over them, but I don't really know much about them other than like trains are cool. So that's to the extent of my knowledge on trains. But I really like when they interact with the roads in my city, and especially when they go through the backs of buildings and near parking lots and stuff like that. It looks hot. I love it. Very fun. It is the very fun. But man, detailing has come so far in City Skylines 2 already. Like, we're not even, I mean, we're getting close to it, but it's not even City Skylines 2's first birthday, and already detailing feels like, I mean, here we are. We're finally back doing something like, honestly, kind of going back to like our rural Canada A Cities 1 roots here with, you know, it's not set in the Okanagan, sure, but we're going to like a rural city, like a small town city, and heavily detailed, right? Heavily detailed city, small town vibes. It feels really good to be able to detail in this game because the graphics are phenomenal. Like, the game looks so dang good. So to be able to detail in this is sick. Like, to properly detail now, even if we don't have assets and all the props and stuff that I want to see, the detailing as it is, honestly, it's kind of a lot of fun. And if you're a City Skylines 1 player out there who does have a PC, because of course it's not on console yet, I say give it a try. Download some mods and give it a shot. Again, the mods list will be on the Discord. You can find a link for the Discord in the description below. So we're going to come in with some of the parking lots that we got from the Detailers patch and just put that beside, likely for that mixed-use building for the shops, and then maybe some visitor parking as well, too, for the apartment. But also fills the space near the water tower and looks really good. And really happy to have, like, proper parking. I would have loved to have seen, like, a three lot or a 4 lot that's only on one side that I could just plop around in different spots. And yes, there are some on the workshop or Paradox mods, but they seem to have some issues, so I ended up removing those. And you're going to actually see that play a role in this video later. So I'm coming in with the alleyway here, Sycamore Lane, and let me know in the comments below, what do you think would be built on this? Would it just be a side road by the rail? Should I put industrial buildings on it? Let me know in the comments below what you would like to see built on it, because quite frankly, I'm just not sure what I want to put there at this time. So yeah, let me know, and maybe I'll come up with something, but at this time, of recording the video, I'm not too sure what I would like to see there. Now, I want to come back and revisit this building because we decide it's like a little bit too big, or couldn't really find a spot where it fit in. I mean, I guess looking back on it now, it is kind of big, and I'm not sure where, but it looks so good. Like, I'd love to fit that in. Since the city that we're working on right now, like this build, is going to be the biggest city in here. I plan on doing multiple cities here, or at least multiple towns, and this one will be the biggest. Look at that building, though. That beautiful... Oh, man, I don't even... yeah, it's so good. Such a good building. Like, the quality of the assets here for vanilla just right out the gate is so damn good. It's so cool. Makes me... Like, I can't wait to see what we get for assets for, like, a proper asset workshop library. It'll be so cool. And then you just saw me there changing up the lanes on that road so that we get the continuous median. Continuous medians are hot. I like them. So we added that. I'm also thinking about adding, it's going to be too big. I did think about adding a turning lane road here at this main arterial, but it'll be fine. If we get a lot of traffic, like, it's kind of cool with me. I like traffic. It's super realistic. I always loved traffic in this game. Loved traffic in Cities 1, so the more the better. And now using my favorite feature of Move It, which is the 2 object heights, so we can get rid of those weird wavy skateboard-looking roads. It is so nice. If you haven't seen it, super cool features being added to Move It. I am using the beta version, so if that does scare you off, that is the version I'm using that has a lot of those cool features. So coming in here, I did think about adding in the medical building, but I realized we could wait on some of the services since we do have import services enabled. But the firehouse seemed to look really good. Stuff like the hospital, I'm not sure where I want to put that, and I want it to be a little bit farther out from Main Street. Likewise with the police as well, too. I'm not sure where I want to put that, but I know I want it to be a little bit farther out from Main Street. So coming in with the fire hall, though, looks great on Main Street and kind of helps to shape the skyline V, if you will. Like, the way that I look at shaping skylines is kind of like a mountain. You can have multiple peaks if you want of different buildings taking shape, but ultimately you want to have your sort of main area kind of look like a mountain. At least to me, when I do go for that V shape where you can have a skyline view that's sort of shaped like a mountain, it ends up looking the best in my opinion, and it looks really good. Gonna come up in here and detail around the water tower, figure out what trees I kind of want to place around there. The oak is easily my favorite tree. It just looks so pretty. But first, I realized this parking lot, it's kind of exposed, right? So why don't we put some barriers down and kind of give it a little... give it its own little spot that it like exists here. It's protected. Cars aren't going to be just driving through this grass field. You know, teenagers aren't just going to rip through it because they absolutely would if they were given the ability to. Now, it had been a while. I've been playing a lot of Cities 1 lately, and then, of course, Move It got some awesome features. I got early access to Road Builder, and so I decided... with that, to, you know, got me back into Cities 2, and just like the stuff being really cool and all the detailing options that we have now. So what you're seeing now here, painstakingly as we place this barrier, is me figuring out how to use the mods again for Cities 2, because despite the fact of them being the same names, you know, like Move It, Line Tool, etc., they do operate significantly different. So I'm just kind of figuring out how the heck to do it. And then I wanted to come in and drag this, and I still don't know how to drag it the way that I want it to, because you'll see here, like, lining this up. Nope, doesn't work there. Doesn't work there. I just not figure it out, so I line it up here, and I'm going to go in with Move It and rotate it. So if anybody knows, I also don't know what the hell that random circle is. I think it's like a hidden tree that was hidden by a built-in. But you know, we're all new. We're all new to this wonderful world of modding in Cities 2, and so there I am, just kind of figuring out what to do. But it looks so great, right? Like, that just makes it look really good. So I'm super pleased with that. And then just coming in with some foliage here just to detail it up, because my thinking is that I don't know, I just feel like I'd see a lot of foliage around a water tower. I don't know if it's like the water tower's like leaking or there's like water around it, but like, I guess it being called a water tower to me just leads me to think like foliage, right? And it looks great. Like, it looks so sick. I am so heckin' stoked on this project. Like, And to be honest, this is probably one of the most excited I've been for a city start in City Skylines 2. And I have some really cool projects over on the Twitch side. If you ever want to join a Twitch live stream, the link for that is in the description below as well. But this is easily the most excited I've been. And the map, man, the map just makes it so easy. Like, it's to the point where I am tempted to start a new series on this map just for Twitch, right? So we do separate builds. We have a build on Twitch, and then we have a build on YouTube. And I'm really tempted to do another city on this map. It's just so good, man. This map is just so dang good. I can't say enough praise about it. Rafterman, you are an absolute genius, a whiz, a legend, and would love to see you tackle the Pacific Northwest sometime. So going to come in here with the surfaces again to make all the roads really scuffed up. And like, just look at how good it looks. Look at it, just adding in some simple, and look how easy it is too, right? Just slapping the surfaces in. Something that would have been all decals on City Skylines 1, right? Is just so easy to do. And then we're going to get rid of the ugly grass surfaces there. Because it looks a lot better when the grass is just the grass, like when it's your map texture grass. Sure, in some areas it makes sense to have the manicured grass, you know, government buildings, schools, etc. But the buildings around here, it's like, nah, let's keep it that way. And just get rid of them because it looks better if it's just the regular grass. And now what you're seeing is a fun little bug called decals not showing up when you start a new city. Usually you got to do a couple reloads, and then the decals will make themselves known and be visible. So at some point off camera, I'm going to reload so that we can get some some decals going on in here. I would love to see if any asset creators are listening right now and watching. I would love to see a lot more graffiti and more like worn, scuffy, grimy graffiti. So if you're out there, graffiti, please. So we're redoing the parking lot. Why? So Skype came up and said a warning about some of the parking lot assets I had, that they could cause issues, and I've been having some weird stutter issues. Now, removing the parking lots didn't solve my performance and stuttering issues in City Skylines 2. I say performance issues, but really what it is a lot of stutters. So as I move around, you might have even seen it if you're, in this video, because it happens here. Now, it's not preventing me from playing the game. It's just a mild annoyance. And so I've started to remove anything that Skype says, hey, you might want to remove this, just to see if I can get to the root cause of why the game is stuttering as bad as it is. Still haven't been able to figure it out. So if anybody knows is having those issues too and has resolved it, would love to hear that. Or if anybody has, hey, try this. Yeah, absolutely. Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to get to the bottom of it. Again, it's not preventing me from playing the game per se. It's just a mild annoyance at this time. So yeah, I decided to yeet those parking lots and go for one of the ones that's built in. Now, I don't think I ever end up actually connecting that road, or I think I bulldoze it and try again, right? Because I'm not sure if you need this road to actually connect or not. And if I drag that line out, it makes the parking lot smaller. I wish there was one that had the parking on just one side of it. It would make it so much easier, because this is a really cool system. I don't know why they hid this from us. Like, this is an awesome way to make custom parking lots. They should take this idea, instead of just giving us more parking lots that are pre-made. Those are fine and those are great for certain spots, but like, give us this tool. Let us, what I really wish that they did was just like, let us draw out, kind of like how we draw surfaces. Let me surface an area and it autofills that with a parking lot. And definitely wish that I could have seen like the Manor Lord style of zoning in this game, but who knows? Maybe a mod will come out and do that stuff. That'd be super cool. But at least this tool, right, for drawing the parking, like, take this. Don't hide stuff like this. This stuff is awesome. It makes people happy with you if you don't hide this stuff. And expand on it would be really, really cool, because it's an awesome, awesome tool. I just would love to see more variants of it, like single-sided, diagonal. Some accessibility options would be really cool. But that is our new parking lot. And honestly, I kind of like it a lot. Like, it's simple entrance, simple exit. It gives room for more greenery around there as well, too, so we can have more nature. But it just looks cool, man. I really like it. Yeah, I know it's, weird to gush over a parking lot, but it looks sick. I think it looks really cool. And of course, you got people that are using it to bypass the the intersection, which is, it's whatever, fair. That's fine. Do what you got to do, I guess, to beat the local rush hour, But yeah, really excited to start a small city, all thanks to the Detailers patch having those new services buildings. So having smaller services and smaller schools and whatnot definitely makes it feel more like a possibility, because the schools that you got in the game were just kind of like, Like that elementary school, man, it's cool. Like I'm not going to knock them and be like, this elementary school doesn't look good or it's not pretty or whatever. Like it's a pretty asset. It's massive. Like it's too big, man. It's too big. So to be able to come in and have those smaller assets that we're going to be using in this series is really cool. And now we're going to place what will become the tallest. I think it'll be the tallest building in the skyline. We'll see, because like I really like the look of that skyline. I think that looks really, really pretty. So I think it will be, but we'll see. We'll see if it stays or if I add anything else. But I think it looks really good there. Look at that. Oh yeah, that's sick. That is so sick. It looks so beautiful. I love it. Absolutely love it. And the skyline already, man, it's crazy. Like the water tower, I think, is my favorite piece of the skyline. I think it just complements it so well. The fire hall does as well too, but I think this just really, really complements it. And then I started to realize, like, man, we should probably get some commercial buildings in here because we kind of have a lack of it. Like we're good on residential for now. I mean, look at that already. A population of 155, which is cool. I don't know if I've started a series and had people living in it on episode 1. So it's really, really cool to have this. And now I'm going to come and use Better Bulldozer. Now, this feature is kind of really, really broken. I still use it because it works sometimes, but most of the time, anything you delete with Better Bulldozer when it comes to sub-elements will just spawn back. Also, likewise, Better Bulldozer can cause some of my parking lots to vanish, the markings on them to vanish. Move It fixes that, which is awesome. So just approach that mod with caution. It does seem to be pretty buggy in its current state, but still an essential mod that I'm using still, despite some of the issues that I'm having with it. I'm going to come in with even more surface parking lots here. I just want to really emphasize, well, it's great. I really want to emphasize the surface parking in this. Plus, like, I don't know, love or hate surface parking, right? We're trying to build a realistic small town here. It adds gaps to the skyline that I think even adds more realism to your build. So, like, just simply doing that, adding a bunch of surface parking, people can be like, oh, why do you have all this surface parking here? I mean, first of all, it's realistic, but yeah, it adds these gaps to the skyline that I think actually ends up making your skyline look better. But also just spamming down the surface parking like this, way more parking than what's needed, is just realistic. It looks good at the end of the day, right? So coming in with more of those stained decals just to give it that worn look there. And man, it's so good. Those surfaces are just so good. It makes it look so cool and realistic. Honestly, it makes it look really realistic. Got all these people moving in. Look at that, the population skyrocketing. We're at 157 and going up. It's so cool to be able to, yeah, I don't know, just like, despite the issues that Cities 2 has, and despite how fragile the game can be with mods in its current state, it is a lot of fun, and I love just how detailed everything is, that I don't have to hardcore detail, because I like detailing, but I don't like when detailing becomes everything. It becomes all that I'm doing for an entire episode or whatever, right? Like, I want to be able to see progress. Each episode, I want to be able to see some progress that we did, and it really feels like, being a detailer at heart, that I can fully detail the stuff I want to, while also being able to see progress. And now we're going to add some decals, and I don't know what happened, because I thought that I saved the game. I didn't think that the game crashed, but for some reason, you'll see it in the live play, the version with decals is just gone, so I'm going to have to re-add all these decals that you see me doing. After the live play, I've gone ahead and added them all back into the build. So these decals will still be here that you see me doing. I'm going to match them the same way that I do here. So all this work will still exist. You're just not going to see it in the live play because, yeah, for whatever reason, it's just like gone. But I totally remember saving it. So I guess I didn't. Maybe the game did crash, but I don't remember. Either way, they're going to be back. Like, the decals on the water tower look so sick. Like, oh my god, look at that. It's so cool. It's so cool. It's funny, I was talking to Sully about this, and Sully said when he made these stained decals, the last thing he expected or didn't think of was people using them on buildings. He's like, oh yeah, people just use them on roads, right, and surfaces and stuff like that. And all people ever do now is use them on buildings because it looks so good, man. They look really, really good on buildings like this, like just spamming this big one around the water tower. It looks so heckin' cool. Like, oh, dude, yeah, it's nice. It's a really nice touch. It was a funny conversation I had with Sully about the decals and stuff like that. And yeah, just look at that finished product. Oh yeah. You gotta adjust that one there. There you go. Look at that. That is looking so dang good. So I think it's about that time. I'm going to leave you with the ending parts here. So we just do a little bit of detailing here. We're going to add a homeless camp in here just to emphasize that side. You know, this is a small, struggling city. I'm going to leave you with the final parts of detailing, and I'm going to connect with all of you in the live play portion of today's episode. So here we are in Port Moose, Ontario, and the beginnings of our downtown. And I am really, really pleased with this and how it looks, especially if we come down, like looking at it from this angle. Oh yeah, that looks really good. And then especially with what we'll have in the backdrop. Like I'm so stoked on getting the mountains version. So a huge shout out to Raptorman for that. But I think that's going to look really cool. And I'm quite pleased with the starting layout here of just like, or I guess starting size here. We didn't really do much with the roads, just kind of built off of what the map had laid out for us. But kind of the starting size of it, I really think this is, you know, I don't want to go big here. The whole idea behind this is doing a little bit of a shorter, smaller build. So shorter in height, smaller build, and maybe even a smaller series, something like 10, 15 episodes or so. Nothing too crazy, just to, yeah, I don't know. I've been wanting to do something more rural in City Skylines 2, or at least more smaller, and this seemed like kind of the perfect map for it. So really pleased with that. I think this might be then the tallest building in our skyline. So we'll see if anything else comes in, but I think this is going to be the general idea of it. And if we do branch in and put, you know, maybe another town over here or another town off in the distance somewhere here, maybe more coastal, you know, could come in here and do a little beachfront community. I think that this will still be the biggest city, and anything that else that we make will be much smaller. But here's what we did. Now, I do have to mention, I got to come in here and fix this up. We did lose some of the decals. Modding this game is it's in a very fun state, but a very rough state. And I find the game becomes very fragile and crashes very frequently when modded, especially heavily modded for a very detailed series. So I've got the autosave set to 10 minutes, but maybe I set the autosave down to 5 minutes because we did lose some detailing. Nothing too concerned, like I'm just going to go back in and re-detail that up, but some of the decals that I'd placed on the water tower, some of the decals on the buildings were lost, so I just got to come in and clean those up and add that myself. Some more detailing around the basketball court as well, which has already been covered in the beautiful, beautiful homeless bug that exists currently in the game. But yeah, I'm really stoked with this and how it looks and is coming together. Again, it's going to be one of those cities where there's almost more surface parking lots than buildings. I think it looks really, really pretty, and I'm really stoked on the parking lot that we ended up going with after deciding to yeet some of those assets that they just had a little marking in Skive that they could be a little bit, just to be cautious, you know, so I decided to go away from those. But even this, like the detailing around here, I don't know, it's the detail is really simple, I want to say, in City Skylines 2 so far. We just don't have a lot to work with, but I still find myself just having so much fun with the detailing in Cities 2. Like there's just something, I don't know, maybe it's the graphics, because the biggest thing keeping me from, like, you know, constantly going back to Cities 1 is the graphics. Like the game just looks so beautiful and you don't have to do a lot. Also, we just lost, yep, that would do it. Well, hey, I'm CanadianMoosePlays. This is the live play for our return episode, and we got something to deal with next episode. Okay, cool. Here's the outro.